Hey! Where'd you go, Claire? Who said you were allowed to leave, huh? I can't believe the disrespect! Not even a proper goodbye!
Well, can you really blame me? You kind of left me no choice. Because of you, I'm completely drenched from head to toe. I need to go home now and dry off so I don't catch a cold. What is your problem with me anyway? I assume you didn't dump a bucket of water over my head for no reason.
You really don't know why? That's what you get for deceiving my son! Sorry to foil your little scheme, but the jig is up. I don't know if it's money or my house you're after, but you're not getting either of it! You may have fooled my son, but not me!
I'm sorry? I have no idea what you're talking about. All I did was show up to your home with Evan so we could get you and Diane's blessing to get married. What makes you think I tricked Evan? Where is this coming from?
Oh, playing dumb, I see. I told you, the jig is up. You lied to Evan about your education. I heard you're a high school dropout.
Excuse me? Where exactly did you hear that?
One of the younger guys from the office told me. When Evan first started dating you, I brought it up at work that my son had a new girlfriend. One of the kids I supervised went to the same high school as you. What a small world, huh? Anyway, he's the one who told me you were a high school dropout. That means you were only able to finish middle school.
A former classmate, you say? Interesting. But why are you accusing me of trying to trick your son?
My family has a long history of high academic achievements, you know. My father, me, Evan, all the men in my family graduated from Ivy League schools. My wife, Diane, and my daughter, Sienna, also graduated from prestigious private schools. But my son, marrying someone who never even made it past high school? This is an outrage! I'll be a laughingstock! Think of what my relatives would say!
Okay?
You're lucky you have a pretty face. I'm sure it worked to your advantage when you were seducing Evan. But I can't be fooled. You're an idiot and an airhead, and my son doesn't deserve a woman like you.
So let me get this straight. Because you didn't like what you assumed about my educational background, you decided you wanted to get rid of me. And you thought the best way to do that was to dump water over my head?
I've dealt with dense dummies like yourself before. It's the easiest way to get the point across. If you ever come back to my house again, it'll be mud I'll be dumping over your head. I will never give you my blessing to marry my son. If you knew your place, you would have never had the gall to show up here.
I see. Fine then. We'll call off the engagement. I won't marry Evan. That way you'll get what you want, right, Hal?
Exactly. I guess you're not as stupid as I thought. Glad you finally came to your senses.
Oh, I've come to my senses all right. I realize that I don't want to marry into a family where I have to deal with someone as childish and barbaric as you. For someone who boasts about their high education, what you're saying is incredibly immature, don't you think? Your insults are so juvenile and repetitive, I feel like I'm talking to an arrogant little kid.
What did you just say to me?
On top of that, you're quite cowardly and sneaky. You kept your mouth shut the whole time Evan and I were talking about wanting to get married. Then Evan stepped out to make a phone call, and Diane went to grab some drinks from the kitchen. It wasn't until we were alone that you decided to show your aggressive side. What's worse, right after you did what you did and got me drenched, you started talking about needing a smoke and got out of there as fast as you possibly could. A blink of the eye and you were gone. You deliberately attacked me, and only when no one else was around to see it. Then you immediately ran away. And now you're texting me to complain instead of talking to me in person when you had the opportunity to do so earlier. You're a spineless, mean-spirited person. It's really kind of sad.
Aha! You finally decided to show your true colors. That's how you tricked my son, too, right? By pretending to be a little goody two-shoes. I'm just glad I could expose you. I don't want my son marrying a scammer.
I was just stating facts about what happened earlier. And besides, you're missing the point entirely. Is it even possible to have a normal, human conversation with you?
Shut up! I don't care what you have to say. I never want you to step foot in my house again. Don't ever think of coming back here, or else!
Understood. I thought we were getting along well. I've been keeping you posted about our lives. I would even call you every now and again. I was just trying to build a good relationship with my boyfriend's father. It's unfortunate how things turned out. Goodbye.
Hal? Hal! Oh, I've been calling you for ages. Pick up already. Where'd you go? And why aren't you answering?
Shut up, Diane! I heard my phone ringing the first dozen times. Why don't you take a hint and knock it off? I'm at my usual bar, raising a glass to myself for a job well done. So let me celebrate in peace.
Huh? You're out drinking? I came back to an empty living room after getting drinks for everyone. The floor was all wet. No sign of Claire or Evan. And you were gone too. Ugh, Evan's been texting me, and he's livid. I've been scrambling trying to deal with this, and you're out drinking? And what do you mean by celebrate? What exactly are you celebrating?
I drove out that wretched scammer that our son's been dating. I saved the whole family from being tricked by her. That'll teach her. Trying to weasel into our family without a decent education? Not on my watch! You should be thanking me, honestly.
So what Evan told me was true? You really splashed a bucket of water on Claire so she would leave?
All I did was wash the filth off of that dirty scammer. She was after my money, I know it. I won't accept someone like her as my son's wife. If I'm going to give my blessing, Evan better bring me someone way more intelligent.
I can't believe what you did! You idiot! Do you have any idea how much I was looking forward to Claire and Evan getting married? All the effort I put in to make sure that it happened. 3 years of hard work, all down the drain!
Wait, huh? What in the world are you talking about?
Claire had concerns about marriage and wasn't too enthusiastic about it. Me, Evan, and even Sienna worked so hard to make sure Claire felt welcome and supported by our family. But you ruined everything! You are the absolute worst!
Hey, calm down for a second, would you? What's the big deal? What's your obsession with that high school dropout anyway? There's plenty of other women for Evan, ones that are much better than her. Evan deserves better than that airhead.
What? Have you lost your mind? High school dropout? You didn't say that to her, did you? Oh, God forbid.
Yeah, I did. So what? What's wrong with stating the fact that she only has a middle school education?
It's wrong because it's not true, you buffoon! Oh, no. I can't believe this is happening. Not only did you insult Claire, but you assaulted her too? Oh, this is terrible.
I still don't see what the big deal is. Why do you care so much about that woman?
Because Sienna and I are huge fans of hers.
Excuse me? Fans? Of Claire?
Claire graduated from a performing arts high school, one of the most prestigious ones in the country. It's practically impossible to get into. She's one of the most talented and famous stars on Broadway.
What? Broadway?
I have no idea where you heard such an unfounded rumor. But Claire never dropped out of high school. She just took a transfer exam and auditioned during her sophomore year. She left her old school when she got accepted. Do you have absolutely no common sense?
What? How was I supposed to know? That's ridiculous! Who could possibly guess that?
And not only that, she went on to the top performing arts conservatory in the country. She's a college graduate, you idiot! She skyrocketed to stardom as soon as she started getting parts on Broadway shows. She's an exceptional singer and a very gifted actor. Sienna and I both admire her so much.
I can't believe this nonsense!
She's even won awards for her performances. Anyway, Claire is our all-time favorite performer. We've been going to her shows to see her on stage for a while now. When Evan first introduced her to me as his girlfriend, I was absolutely ecstatic. It was a dream come true, a blessing. I felt like the luckiest woman alive.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on just a second there. You mean to tell me she's a theater performer? On Broadway? You've got to be kidding me. That woman?
That woman? Bite your tongue. Never speak of her like that again. So disrespectful.
Okay.
Since Evan started dating her, I've been trying to make sure everything went well in their relationship. Without being too intrusive, of course. I've been trying to make sure that we stay on good terms. Oh, I was so nervous because I wanted her to like me. She had reservations about getting married, because of her career. So I told her that I would help her out with anything she needed and support her in absolutely any way. I tried not to come across as being too pushy and handled everything with exceptional care. And at last, Claire and Evan were engaged. But then, you decided to act like a complete imbecile and ruin everything!
Well, how was I supposed to know? It's not my fault the kid who works for me didn't have his facts straight. I was just looking out for my family. I couldn't allow an incompetent woman to marry my son. It's only natural for a father to...
Looking out for your family? Don't give me that bull. Even if you don't like your son's fiancé, that's absolutely no reason to dump water over her head. And then for you to go on and berate her? Who does that? What kind of father are you? Where did you leave your common sense and conscience? In your mother's womb?
Well, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that, but...
The only places you ever spend your time are at work and at the bars. You've neglected this family for years. And now you want to act like a family man all of a sudden? Ha! Don't make me laugh. All you've done is cause trouble. Our wedding anniversary, our children's birthdays. You were never home to spend time with us. You always preferred to hang out with your mistress.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know about that? But how?
You really thought you were doing a good job hiding it? I know you've been picking up hussies at bars for the last 20 years. After neglecting us all this time, spending your money on those other women, how dare you jeopardize our precious son's relationship?
But those things aren't even related.
Shut it, you nincompoop! I don't care that you went to an Ivy League school. I don't care how much money you make. I have no respect for someone who behaves this way. It's unacceptable. I've had enough. We're through. I'm divorcing you.
To what?
Even though you hardly ever came home. Even though I knew you were fooling around with other women. I always looked the other way. I put up with it because I thought staying together was the best choice I could make for the sake of our children. But I've reached my limit. What little feelings I had left for you, they're gone too. We are getting a divorce, and that's final.
No, 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 this can't be happening. Oh, hold on just a minute. Are we really getting a divorce over something like this? You're joking, right?
This incident was just the last straw. Divorce has been on my mind for a while now. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. We're done.
No, please, think this through. If my relatives find out about it, what will they say? Come on. You have to think about the position that puts me in.
I don't care one bit. My future daughter-in-law is way more important. Don't come back home today. Actually, don't come back at all. I never want you to step foot in my house again.
Don't step foot in your house? You can't do that. That's my house.
What are you talking about? This property was a wedding gift from my father, remember? The house, the land, they're all in my name. You really forgot about that?
Huh? Oh.
Once I fill out the divorce papers, I'll send them to your parents' house. I'll have my lawyer contact you with the details. In the meantime, don't try to reach me. Just so you know, your mother is a Broadway aficionado too. Sienna and I started inviting her when we would go to shows, and now she's hooked.
Wait, come on, Diane! You can't do this to me! Hey! Hey, you! You better come back to the house this instant! Are you even getting these? Hey!
What do you mean, come back? Didn't you just tell me to never step foot in your house again?
Forget what I said! Just come back already! Talk some sense into Diane, would you? She locked me out of the house!
Yes, I'm aware. Diane told me everything. And no, I'm not going back. I never want to see your face again, ever.
Just come back, okay? It'll be a lot easier to talk to her with you there. I need her to reconsider the divorce. Now that I know all that stuff about your education was a misunderstanding, everything's good. We can start fresh.
Everything's good? That's rich. You really think everything's good after dumping water over my head and insulting me? I haven't even gotten an apology from you yet.
What?
What did you think, that I wouldn't be upset after everything you did to me? You ruined my clothes that I bought especially for the occasion. The water destroyed my favorite watch. And not to mention all the remarks you made about me. Do you really think I wouldn't be furious? Well, evidently I guess you did. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the audacity to ask me to convince your wife to not divorce you without even giving me a proper apology. I shouldn't be surprised. It must be nice having such thick skin.
Well, alright, fine. It was wrong of me to do what I did, okay? I was wrong to assume you only had a middle school education. I was wrong to dump water on you. So come back already and help me situate things with Diane.
Yes, you were wrong. And? All you're doing is stating facts over and over, but I still haven't heard an apology. But I do have to agree with your statements. You were wrong, and this is all your fault. So?
So what? You know, you get what I'm trying to say, don't you?
It's not that hard to say the words, "I'm sorry." It actually requires very little effort. Even now, you prioritize your pathetic pride over showing some decency. If you can't even apologize over text, that's fine with me. But I won't get involved until I receive a proper apology. Goodbye then.
What? Wait! Come on, Claire!
After that, Hal tried to change Diane's mind about getting the divorce any way he possibly could. But suffice to say, things didn't work out in his favor. Diane rejected Hal and ignored him completely. She kept telling him if he wanted to discuss anything, he could discuss it with her lawyer. He reached out to his kids for help, but they wanted nothing to do with him. They told him they never wanted to see him again. Hal's mother found out what he did, and she was so livid that she disowned him. He was disavowed by his relatives too. Worse than being a laughingstock, if you ask me. A month later, Hal and Diane's divorce was finalized. I sued Hal for damages and got a small settlement, just enough to cover the cost of my new outfit he ruined, and my favorite watch he broke. Hal lives on his own in an apartment now, but he doesn't know how to take care of himself properly, so I heard his place is practically a pigsty. He's become a complete wreck. He yelled at my former classmate who told him about my education and told him it was all his fault. My former classmate just assumed I dropped out because he stopped seeing me at school when I transferred. Hal lashed out at others at work too who had nothing to do with the incident. Someone reported him to his supervisor and he got demoted as a result. I can understand why people value education, but they shouldn't lose sight of other important things because of it. As for me, I received many deep-felt apologies from Evan and Diane. They even said they wouldn't blame me if I couldn't forgive them, and that they would understand if I wanted to break off the engagement. But it wasn't their fault, so I told them they had nothing to apologize for. Evan and I stayed engaged, and a year later we got married. Thanks to them, I still get to give my best performance on stage every day. So much happened to get me where I am now, but I'm so grateful to have such an amazing husband and incredibly supportive in-laws.
Hi, Brendan. Are you on the train right now?
Oh, hi, Linda. Yep, I'm on the train right now. I'll probably be there on time. I'm looking forward to today.
Yep, me too.
Still, though, I'm pretty nervous. I've met your mother a few times before when I visited your house, but it's my first time meeting your dad.
I've told him multiple times before to meet you, but he always makes up some sort of excuse and disappears whenever you come visit.
So, does he think of me as some random guy that stole his daughter?
Even if that's the case right now, I'm sure he's going to have a better opinion of you once he gets to meet you.
I hope so.
Anyways, this time I told him that you'd be coming to receive their blessing for our marriage. I don't think he'll escape this time.
I'll do my best to receive your parents' blessing.
I'll tell him about how much of a good person you are as well.
Thanks. I wouldn't know what to do without you.
Alright, take care then.
Yep, you take care as well. To think that you were a piece of scum that grew up without a father. What? Could this be Alinda's father? I got your contact information from Alinda's smartphone. Is that so? First off, let's get this straight. I'm not going to be your father-in-law. I'm not going to let you and my daughter even get married. All right, then I'll call you Mr. Reed for now. Mr. Reed, why did you do what you did back there? Because you're a piece of scum that was raised in a single-parent family. I'm sorry, but that's not an answer to my question. Why did you throw that ashtray at me? You didn't just throw it at me. You were even waiting for me to enter the front door, poised to throw it. Luckily, it was only a light ashtray, and I was able to get away with only the swelling on my forehead, which you seem to aim for. Not liking someone is not an excuse to throw stuff at them. You see, that's what I'm talking about. All I did was teach you a little lesson and you start getting all mad. You're a piece of scum that was raised by a single parent. Your reaction proves that what I say is right. If I may, there are people who become single parents against their own will. Even placed in such an environment, there are tons of people who have been raised on a straight path and are regular members of society. Don't you think that calling someone a piece of scum just because they were raised by a single parent is a bit prejudiced? You seem to want to say that you're a good example of someone that was raised on a straight path. It's not like I'm overconfident, but ever since I lost my father to an illness when I was 5, my mother raised me all on her own and even paid for me until university. I respect my mother from the bottom of my heart for that, both as a parent and as a human. There it is, your mother complex. Huh? I can already see my daughter being bullied by your mother, and you not doing anything if she were to marry you. Don't you think your interpretation is a bit one-sided? If the child is a piece of scum, then the mother must surely also be a piece of scum. What? I'm not going to let you marry my daughter. Mr. Reed, is that why you're provoking me on purpose? Do you want me to get mad at your heartless insults and insult you in return? So that I might accidentally say something that will make me and Alinda break up? Well, sorry to say this, but the things you said about single parents and their children at least don't apply to me and my mother. So there's no way I'm going to lose my temper and say something compromising. Huh? I'll end our conversation here for today, but me wanting to marry Alinda still hasn't changed, so I hope we can come to an understanding in the future.
Brendan! Sorry it took me so long to contact you.
Hi, Linda.
You see, my dad took my smartphone from me, and I was only able to get it back now. Mom got it back for me without him knowing. Is the place where the ashtray hit you all right?
Yep, it only got a bit red and it's basically nothing now.
I'm glad. I'm sorry for my father. I never thought he would do such a thing.
Did you hear why he's opposing our marriage?
Yep, I heard. He explained it to us in grand eloquence. Me and Mom didn't know what to say after his speech.
Is that so?
I'm so sorry. I didn't expect him to be this opposed to us getting married. Even if you were opposed to the wedding, why would he just throw an ashtray at you without even listening to what you had to say?
Linda, let's calm down a bit. If we lose our tempers here, then we'll just be doing what he wants us to do.
You're right. Oh, I forgot. Mom says there's something she wants to tell the two of us.
Oh, Mrs. Reed?
She said she's been thinking about it for a while, but has finally decided it after seeing my dad's attitude today.
I wonder what it is.
She told us to set up a meeting when Dad wouldn't be around.
Got it. Could you tell her that I'm free on weekday nights and on weekends?
Got it, hold on. I just asked Mom, and she said the sooner the better. So come tomorrow after work. Dad works a night shift, so he won't be here.
Understood. I'll contact you once I'm done with work tomorrow.
I'm so sorry about today.
Hey, don't apologize. It's not your fault. Well then, see you tomorrow.
Yep, see you tomorrow.
So you didn't have enough and decided to come again. But I heard that you were going to work a night shift today. The production line was halted because one of our machines broke down. They told us repair would take the whole night, and so I got home early. Is that so? I'm going to marry Linda to another man. Huh? Her husband is going to be the son of an executive director of the company I work at. Me and the executive director have been friends for a long time. And I promised to him that I would give his son my daughter to marry. The son of an executive director? How does it feel? He's a part of the upper class. You're nothing compared to him. You work at a factory owned by a food company at S City, right, Mr. Reed? I'm sure Linda will immediately give up marrying you if I tell her about this opportunity. Don't you dare bother my daughter's happiness, you single-parent raised piece of scum. Is that so? If that's the case, then I'm done. I see. It's a bit rude of me to say this, but I'll praise you for knowing when to quit. Don't get any ideas. I'm definitely going to marry Linda. I just mean that I don't need a father-in-law like you. What did you say? Sorry for bothering you. Linda, are you alright?
Brendan, my dad. I'm so sorry again. To think that he would have come home early.
Apparently something happened at his company, so we couldn't have known. More importantly though, are you alright? I was forcefully kicked out of the house, but I'm worried about you and your mom who were left with him.
I'm fine. Dad kept texting someone or talking to someone on the phone, so he didn't seem to have time for us. The two of us took this opportunity and fled by car. We're at my mom's brother's house right now. By the way, Mom left him the divorce papers, which she already signed.
So her plan is already underway, huh?
She said she was intending on this all along and had been preparing since last night. She wanted to tell you about it, but Dad suddenly came home.
Oh, is that so? Based on what she said up until I was kicked out, I guess the preparation was the obvious choice.
Dad's probably going to try and find out where we went.
Oh, obviously I'm not going to tell him, so don't worry. More importantly, it seems that your father has an arranged marriage set up for you.
Huh? You mean he wants me to marry someone else?
Yep. He says that your husband is going to be the son of an executive director of the company he works at.
The son of an executive director?
Could it be someone you know?
He was a classmate during middle school. Apparently he's extremely bright and is one of the candidates for the next CEO.
Oh, so that's why your dad wanted you to marry him so much.
But I heard during our middle school reunion recently that he was already engaged.
Huh?
It seems that people at the company don't know yet, though. Apparently, his fiancé is the daughter of the company's CEO.
What?
If we let Dad do as he likes, I feel like a lot of people that have nothing to do with this are going to be caught up in this mess.
You're right.
I have a bad feeling that this is going to be a hassle.
Elinda, could you let me take care of the situation? I feel like we need to finish things right now.
Do you have a plan?
I think that getting my mother to intervene is the quickest way to take care of all of this.
What? Your mother?
To be honest, this is a card that I didn't really want to play, but it seems like I have no choice if I want to stop this before things get out of hand. I want you to wait a bit longer. Hey, Brendan, what's the meaning of this? Why didn't you tell me sooner? Your mother was the largest owner of our company's stocks? I intended to tell you about it when I came to your house to ask you for your blessing, but you never let me in. But instead threw an ashtray right as I stepped into the front door and shoved me out. I was wondering what to do about all of this when you told me about the arranged marriage you had for Linda with the son of an executive director. To be honest, I couldn't help but be bewildered at your sudden news concerning Brenda's arranged marriage. Me and the executive director were classmates during elementary school and middle school. Not only that, but Linda and his son were also classmates during middle school. This couldn't have been a better bond. But I heard that the son of this executive director is already engaged. Huh? Who's he engaged to? I got permission from the two of them, so I'll tell you. It seems that his fiancée is the daughter of your company's CEO. Even if there hasn't been any official announcement in the company yet, I think that treating the executive director's son as if he was engaged to Linda without even asking him in his opinion is a bit problematic. This was around the time when me and Alinda got a bit worried that a bunch of people who were unrelated to our marriage might get caught up in the mess that you were about to cause. Which is why I decided that I needed my mother, the company's largest stockholder, to intervene and have her tell the company about the situation. I had no idea this was happening. That's not the end of it. It seems that you were telling some of your colleagues that my daughter might get married to the son of an executive director. This eventually made its way to the ears of the CEO and of the executive director himself. Apparently, if my mother hadn't told them about the situation, this might have caused a huge commotion in the company. After all, the son of this executive director was already engaged, and to the CEO's daughter nonetheless. You're exaggerating, right? What are you talking about? Depending on how you look at it, one could say that what you did was disrupting the marriage of the next CEO and the daughter of the current CEO. So that's why I was told not to come to work anymore today. I don't know what the company is going to do with you, but it seems that you turned in the divorce papers your wife gave you to the city hall the day she gave them to you. Oh, well, that's... Elinda says that she's going to cut ties with you as well. Hold on, wait! Please make sure not to get the two of them, who are now strangers to you, involved in whatever happens to you. Hold on, wait! This is not what I was intending. The divorce papers as well. I let my anger get a hold of me, which is the only reason I turned them in. I wasn't actually serious. If my wife apologizes, I'm willing to get married with her again. That sounds like a long story, am I right? Well, yes. It's an important one after all. But I'm now just a stranger to you. And I don't need to listen to what you say. Huh? And frankly, talking to you any longer is just a waste of time. So, goodbye. Wait! A few days after this incident, it seems that Mr. Reed was told by his company to relocate somewhere far away. It seems that the people at the company have the silent understanding that that's where people go as a sort of exile. But Mr. Reed knew that he was being saved by the skin of his neck. And so, without a choice, he accepted. The next week, he set off for this remote island. Apparently, he now receives a much lower salary and is barely able to get by living on his own. Speaking of which, as he had never done any household chores in his life, he was having trouble living on his own. And so his diet was now heavily imbalanced. His room is full of garbage he's too lazy to take out. And his clothes are dirty since he didn't wash them. And his personality hasn't seemed to change a bit though. And he has no clue that the days until he's fired are numbered.